survive and advance. Sooner fans, that's what OU has done today, escaping the upset bid of UCF in a lot to talk about in this game. A lot to get to, a lot to discuss. The main thing is OU squeaks by 31-29 with the 2-point stop and in a game that really had a lot of things you could talk about. Uh, some busted plays, offensive struggles, but they did score there at the end and were able to find a seam for Salchuk to get that touchdown, and then OU survives. What a game. This reminds me, I had a friend who texted me in 2000, OU was able to escape narrowly at A&M 35-31. Buddy Brett texted me that and said this kind of reminded him of that, and I could see that as well. If you're not subscribed to the Sooner Surge, make sure you do that. We want to hear from you guys. Drop your comments about this game in the comment section. We'll try to put up as many comments as we can. But, Jay, what are your opening thoughts?
Oh, just like you said, survive and advance. I do think this is a game they lose last year, obviously, but in previous years with the defense, they lose this game. The defense, they had some busts, don't get me wrong, but it seemed like to me UCF had the ball so much. And I don't know what the time of possession was, but, that first 6 minutes of the game, OU had the ball 5 times and got 1 touchdown and didn't get many first downs at all. And so OU made plays when they needed to. They had busts, you're right. The running game finally got going second half, Salchuk a little bit, and Major. But that's the one thing I would say about this offense is that when they're not in a rhythm, it's pretty bad. And even last year when they had some games, even this year, go back to the SMU game, when they don't get in a rhythm and get going very good, they kind of can struggle for most of the game, it seems like. Now, they did get it going second half, couple drives down there where they had to have it. I mean, Gabriel made a huge play on third down to Stoops, got hit right when he threw it, but just seemed a little bit off all day long.
Yeah, they were able to put a little pressure on Gabriel. I was surprised OU didn't try to run Dylan Gabriel more. Did not use the quarterback run game very much at all after using it a lot against Texas. That was interesting. Obviously, no Tolly Walker out due to personal reasons, it said on Twitter. Not sure what that is. Major came in. They finally got something going. And if you go back and watch the tape, Sooner fans, Savion Byrd was in on those drives where they were running the ball. So they were able to get the physical guy out there. I was actually shocked. McCade Matoyer played a little bit, Jay.
Yeah, hey, Jimmy is dead right, I think. And I know a lot of Sooner fans don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it. For 2 weeks, they talked about the Texas and WIN, okay? And I know you can say they don't overlook teams. They take it one game at a time. If fans are overlooking UCF, I can promise you players are. And I'm not saying they overlooked them, but it was almost like they were just kind of going through the motions today.
Well, here's the thing, Jay. OU came out prepared. BV had, I mean, they were on lockdown against UCF early. The offense was pitiful. I don't know what else to say.
The offense didn't look right.
The offense, you stopped UCF 4 straight possessions. I mean, that game should have been over early when you let a team hang around. Look, we're not stupid. Everyone knows this. You let a team hang around, especially a Gus Malzahn team, when bust on defense, and you're going to have a dogfight. Fortunately, OU came out on top, and a lot of champion teams have these kinds of games. OU was able to battle out and win. You're right, mysterious Oklahoma, maybe a little rat poison. It doesn't matter what the coaches say. You're dealing with college kids who I promise you are reading press clippings. Now, the defense had a lot of great moments today. Had a lot of bad ones, too, with some busted assignments. The offense did struggle multiple times. They weren't able to get the ball down the field. Nick Anderson did well in filling in for Andrell Anthony. We did the Gavin Freeman out of the backfield some. I didn't really know what to think of that, honestly. I thought this wasn't one of Levy's best. Now, execution could have been better, obviously, but there are some questionable things. They're ranked 120th in rush defense, and we weren't able to pound them until the fourth quarter, which was nice. It was nice to be able to put 2 drives together. It's nice to see Salchuk giving us something there.
Yeah, I agree with some of these comments. The press clippings, You're playing the worst team in the Big 12 off rankings. I just and Jackson's dead right on this. I thought about this couple of plays I watched, and I thought, man, where is the separation? I don't know. They weren't getting any, but also I feel like UCF was dropping a lot of guys, and Gabriel's kind of struggled looking around. And there was a few times he would just dump it down to somebody when he wasn't getting pressure. Wait for it to open. I don't know. It was just a bad performance offensively. That's all I can say.
You're cutting out. You're cutting
They
out,
could have
Jay.
lost that game today.
You're cutting out there for a second. Hey, special teams is unacceptable. Schmidt, they better give Marshall a chance. I this is ridiculous. You can't have two missed field goals. It kills you. The momentum was killed. And I tell you something else that killed the momentum was Canick's penalty. I mean, you had him stuffed right there. That was a big play early. I think you're right. We're believing our own hype. This could be a blessing in disguise, actually. Now you go on the road to a Kansas team that's pretty doggone good as well. This could be an eye-opening thing. You can't believe the hype. You got to go play every single game. Yeah, John says that DG better rusher. Now, Major and Sawchuk were huge in the fourth quarter, but they started running a power run game instead of that other crap we were running. UCF was playing 6 in the box, guys. 6 in the box. We couldn't block them. That's unacceptable.
Yeah. Eric Schmidt, I agree. If you're not going to play Gavin Marshall, maybe it's time to just go for it on fourth down every time. I mean, I have no confidence right now in Schmidt. And then Jackson, I agree. The punting situation was better. Elzinga there had some great pins inside the 20. I thought he did very well.
Yeah, special teams on that side was fine. It's the field goal kicking.
And also the start of the game, like Timothy says, you cannot let a team like this hang around. You go put your foot on them and end it. And if they could have, that first 4 drives, the defense played great. If they could have been up 17-0, 20, game would have been out of reach.
John says, how many times is Major running with his head down? There were a couple. There was that one bad exchange. I thought he was going to fumble the ball. Looked weird on that. Gabriel was trying to pull it out, and he was trying to keep it. The fourth quarter, they did do better. Major's worst play was that drop on that wheel route. Had that wheel route that was open. Gabriel threw dime time there. Wasn't able to hang on to it, but they were able to score on that drive. Sawchuk was really patient, I thought. Waited for the hole and then kind of exploded through it. So it was great to see that. Walker probably could have had a field day maybe against these guys, but personal matter held him out.
Yeah, I think Sawchuk, I thought second half he looked a lot way better. Maybe he was getting some confidence or what, but still, it was disappointing that they weren't just pounding these guys early on.
Farouk was pretty much non-existent today. Gibson made a heck of a catch. Ball was pretty much in the turf. He was able to pull that out. So that was a huge play. And hey, you can't not talk about the 2-point conversion play. Kendall Dolby, it was a trick play. Kendall Dolby sniffed it out. Excellent play. And actually, I'll give kudos to Billy Bowman on that play because he went out and covered their stud receiver, Baker, right? Because Bowman was getting torched on that last drive. Bowman got torched. Could have had the awesome pick, Jada Coleman-esque. Didn't make that play, and then he got torched on the touchdown. He was able to redeem himself a little bit. Wow.
Hey, what? I thought that was an awful 2-point conversion play call.
Oh, for sure. Stupid. Penn State just ran the same thing, Jay, against Ohio State. Same exact play. Hey, OU, Jeff Lebby was trying to get too cute, too. Jeff Lebby was getting too cute early in this game, trying things. It's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That should have, John, you're right. It was a definite time. And the frustrating thing is BV knew it. BV was trying to argue it. The referee watched him blow the kiss and still did not make the call. And the reason everyone's like, well, that doesn't matter. It's just a 15-yard penalty on the kickoff. No, guys, that touchdown would not have counted. That was a big play. Tawi not playing due to personal reasons. That's what I saw on Twitter, Mr. John. I saw that it was due to personal matters was the exact wording of that. Yeah, he does have a gallop trying to juke a little bit of Major on that comment. Jackson played well in the second half. Woody today got exposed a little. First time all year probably that he got exposed. He had a horrible where he was looking in the backfield, as you say, John. But maybe even worse was OU has them pinned on 2nd and 15 on the 2-yard line, and he interferes a guy when he has perfect coverage. That was a killer there, backbreaker. And my head was spinning too with Levy. I do like the game management.
What did you not
I
like
like the
about
game
Levy?
management better. Last part of the game.
What did you not like about Levy? What was your
my thing on Levy was I thought we were trying to get too cute on some areas that
I agree.
didn't pan out. Second of all, I thought OU probably could have gone a little more power running instead of the other type of running we were doing. OU finally did. They brought Bird in and made some differences, but that would be my complaints on Levy. But Lori says, yeah, Kansas for sure on the road. Kansas is going to beat OU if they play like this, but that's the good news is I don't think OU plays like this next week. This was a wake-up call, okay? A very much wake-up call. Appreciate you, Eric. Thank you so much. It's ironic
Eric,
that
appreciate that, buddy. Appreciate that.
everyone keeps asking where the walk-on running back was. And it's funny. I think I see what you're saying here. He's a walk-on. Yeah, that's exactly right. And they missed him. He would have been a physical guy, but look, I think everyone thinks Salchuk and Barnes are the two guys that eventually got to step up here. Are you on that boat, Eric? Are you thinking this is Salchuk or Barnes? Is that what you thought kind of from the get-go? I mean, I figured Major was just a third down back, and now he's playing most of the game. Salchuk today was nice to see. It was nice to see. But, Eric, I'd be curious on your thoughts on maybe who you think RB number 1 should be, Eric. Thanks again, Eric. Appreciate you.
I still think a guy that they're not playing that they need to be playing. If the running back room is looking the way it is, Caleb Hicks, the freshman, I think he'd be pretty good playing. I think he's a really good running back. But they got to figure some things out. I haven't been impressed with the development of the running back room. I thought they would be better from last year, right?
Major and Walker have developed. I mean, one guy's a walk-on, and Major's
no, Walker's true. Walker has developed. For sure.
Major's had his best season.
Walker would have been great today in the power run.
Yeah, I think what you're seeing, though, is Salchuk and Barnes have been coming off injuries. It's taken them a while. Jay, another thing on Levy, though, when it's 3rd and 2 to the 120th ranked defense in the country, ground pound. Come on. Mars, you are correct, though. It's a win. Let's remember this, guys. This is a win. This is a game OU doesn't win last year.
And Eric's right. It's very rarely that Walker goes down with one guy tackling him. And today, a lot of people just grabbed a shoestring and got somebody down. I mean,
this would have been a field day for Walker. I mean, of all the games to miss, I mean, because he would have just taken a toll on these guys, and he's also a good pass catcher. He's good on picking up blitzes. That's Salchuk's weakness is the pass protection.
Yep, agreed.
Lori Walker was out for personal matters. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it was family. I don't know if it was other things that happened throughout the week. Not sure. Backup kicker is Gavin Marshall, right, Jay?
Yeah, and here's the thing about Marshall. I don't know, Jeremy, you didn't go to the TU game, but we watched him warm up, and he maybe it was just that day, but his leg wasn't. I mean, Schmidt was kicking it way better, but there's something to be said, though, about making him in a game compared to practice and warm-ups. Schmidt is not making it in a game. So you got to bring Gavin Marshall out there and try it, mate. I mean, I don't understand. What? Keep throwing Schmidt out there. Keep going. He's going to keep missing, I think.
Go get the kicker from UCF. His name's Boomer. I thought we were going to lose to a kicker named Boomer today. I thought it was going to be the perfect irony in the matter. We're going to lose 26-24 on a field goal, but fortunately OU stepped up. You're right, John. Open tryouts. Let's go. Find soccer player or something. That's just embarrassing. And look, OU's been spoiled, guys. Seibert was pretty good. He was in the NFL. Burkick was great until the burrito kick. I mean, he was excellent.
Yeah, this is a good point, Eric. And I was talking on our group chat during the game, and I thought it might have been this game, but it is going to cost OU a game. It is. I don't care if it's who it is. Maybe it's a Big 12 time.
Lost you, Jay. Yeah. You can't go a full season with bad special teams and expect to win close games. OU escaped today. I would like to say again that Texas A&M game in 2000, OU's national championship run, they did have a close game, lost 35-31, but that was on the road. I mean, this is different. You want to say the Texas hangover? I don't think that's an excuse because you had a bye week. It's just, it is what it is. OU was able to escape, though. Nick Anderson, I think we got to talk about Nick Anderson, guys. Great bright spot today. People knew that Nick Anderson, I think on the game time preview, I said he was going to get 6 to 9 catches with 2 TDs. I was wrong. He only caught 5 balls, but he was great. He went out with a little bit of a hitch and came back in, so that was good. Receiver-wise, Stoops had the one interception was a drop by Stoops. I mean, Gabriel kind of let him out to dry on that, but Stoops the guy that usually catches it. But Stoops made some massive plays, biggest one being that touchdown. First game OU's allowed a 100-yard rusher was today. Now, I know 54, I think, came on one play, but, hey, I will say this about the defense. There were some busts, okay? Peyton Bowen is special. Peyton Bowen did not play much, and when he did, you noticed it. He came on the safety or corner blitz so fast. I think this is a game where they've got to figure out how to get Bowen on the field. I hate to say for Bowman because Bowman's been elite, but he wasn't great today. Maybe it's for Key Lawrence. I don't know, but Peyton Bowen's got to get on the field. He is going to be so special, just a true freshman. The other big thing on defense, Jay, I don't think Ethan Downs came back, did he? Don't know if you're there, Jay. I don't think Ethan Downs came back. Someone help me in the chat, but Ethan Downs was holding his groin, went out, and pretty much it looked like it was R. Mason Thomas kind of for the rest of the way. Russ, I agree with you. Every championship team has a game like this usually. So maybe this is OU's, and maybe there won't be another one like it. Let's hope. Yeah, I mean, Bowen played well. That one play was awful on like 3rd and 15. You absolutely unacceptable to allow a guy to go behind you on that across the field. Let's see this comment here, Eric. Yeah, special team. If you could take Schmidt out of this, which you can't because it's kind of a big deal, but the special teams are great. You had Freeman, a good return. Freeman was good. Got hammered on one punt return. Should have called a fair catch, but didn't, but was able to hold on to it. Kickoffs were elite. They tried the trick play on the kickoff, the kick return, and we snipped it out. Special teams was great, except Schmidt. Schmidt was bad. Yeah, Timothy, you're right. Those two plays are the ones that stand out to me. The 3rd and 15, it was atrocious. And the 4th down TD was just, and those are both Billy Bowman. I would have loved to have seen him go up on that one-handed play and end the game right there, but was not able to. Yeah, I forgot about the A&M game. That was the Derek Strait game up against their tight end, Russ, if I remember right. Derek Strait in the corner of the end zone knocked the ball away. Woody Washington almost had one of those plays today, was able to keep the guy out of the end zone. The guy had a toenail out. But, yeah, 2000, OU had 2 of those games. So it could be that this year. It's a good point. I like going for it myself. I've always said, Joe, that I'm trying to put a comment up here, that if I was a coach, I probably wouldn't even have a kicker, but that's why I'll never be a coach because I would be fired very quickly without a kicker. Timothy, you are correct. It was a Torrance Marshall interception. It was Sooner Magic. I was in a hotel room in Minnesota watching that game, and I vividly remember Torrance Marshall doing that. That was Torrance Marshall. Had several big plays that year. Micah, the 3rd and 15 called back. Are you talking about in the 4th quarter? Are you talking about because of the taunting penalty? Because the taunting was not a 3rd down. So I'm curious as to, Micah, what you're referring to on the 3rd and 15. Maybe I missed something. I'm talking about the play where Bowman got a guy going across from behind. That's the play I'm referring to. I'm not sure, Micah. Answer, comment again, and let me know what you're talking about on that.
What's up?
Well, what's up, Brody? Hey, hey, what's up, Daniel? Yeah, I remember Daniel Brooks. That's right, former player. Welcome. Thanks for being on here, Daniel. Uh, Running backs are missing a certain edge. And look, one thing I'll say, Brody. Now, do you have some stats in front of you here in a minute?
Yeah, I'll pull up the
If
stats.
you can run through all the stats in a minute, Daniel. Thanks again for the comment. Look, there is an edge. The certain edge, really. Tolly Walker has a little bit of an edge. Marcus Major's pretty physical, but you're right. There's something missing. I'll tell you one thing that's missing from Levy that OU fans are accustomed to is that fullback position. Uh, Guys like Trey Millar, Demetrius Flowers, all those guys that were elite, J.D. Runnels. That also brought a physicality to the running game as well when you have those guys. Levy's offense does not have that. I would like to see two running backs together more instead of bringing Freeman or Stoops in the backfield. I don't know why in that case you just don't play two running backs because they can catch pretty well as well. What's your thoughts on that, Daniel? Hit us with some stats.
All right. Dylan Gabriel was 25 for 38, 253 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. His completion percentage was 66%. Drake Stoops had led the team in receptions with 7 for 60 yards and a touchdown. He had 9 targets, tied for the most targets on the team with Nick Anderson, who had 9 targets. Anderson had 5 receptions, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jalil Farouk had 3 receptions for 23 yards and 8 targets. Gavin Freeman had 3 receptions for 10 yards. So as far as the rushing game for the Sooners, Marcus Major led the way, 18 attempts, 82 yards. His longest run was 13 yards, and his average yards per carry was 4.6. Gavin Sawchuk, 10 attempts, 63 yards, 1 touchdown. His average yards per carry was 6.3. Dylan Gabriel had 10 attempts for 22 yards. Jalil Farouk, 3 attempts for 16 yards. Defensively, Danny Stutzman led the way, 12 total tackles, 5 solo tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 forced fumble. Key Lawrence, 9 total tackles, 7 solo tackles. Dasan McCullough, 6 total tackles, 1 TFL, and 1 pass breakup. Ethan Downs, 6 total tackles, 3 solo tackles, a sack, a TFL, 3 QB hurries. Other notable stats, Jaron Kanik had 2 QB hurries and 5 total tackles. And Kip Lewis had half a TFL along with Dejon Terry. Trace Ford had 2 tackles for loss. Those were his only 2 tackles on the day. Peyton Bowen had 2 tackles, 1 sack, and 1 TFL. So there's your notable stats for the Sooners today. All-purpose yards, Nick Anderson led the way with 105. Marcus Major had 91, and Jalil Farouk had 80.
Yeah, thanks for the stats, Brody. I agree with some of these comments. I would love to have a fullback out of the backfield. That's not really what he does, but and in Levy's defense, as someone said, the running game, even though it's probably, I mean, this was Major's best yardage game.
It was Sawchuk's best game too.
Sawchuk's best game, but that was all in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
We are able to see that OU's being able to run the ball in the fourth quarter, which is nice. That's nice to see. But again, you got to be able to be more physical. I'm sure Bill Beatenbow is going to be all about that. Eddie Pierre-Louis was at this game. He'd be a good guy to get. Jeff Levy has had some great games at OU, so I don't want to say it was all Jeff Levy today, but there are some definitely questionable, like the whole Farouk in the backfield. I think you got to have Farouk out wide where he's been pretty elite. I don't see a point. I don't see the point in putting Gavin Freeman back there as well. Some of those things, it seemed like Levy was trying to get a little too cute, especially in the fourth. At one point, OU was starting to pound the ball, and we pulled up and threw on 1st and 10 and couldn't get anything. So Timothy asked a question here, and I would be like to know this as well. And I'm going to go back and watch the tape tonight, Brody, but they put Savion Byrd in on the right side.
They
got a lot more physical. They started running downhill up the middle with a little patience and a little kind of hesitation instead of the QB zone read. So I thought that was a little bit of a change up, don't you?
Savion Byrd in the second half when he came in, it looked good. He'll probably be the right guard until McCade Matoyer is back. I saw one comment on Brennan Thompson. He's still nursing that ankle injury, which likely hence why we saw LV Bunkley Shelton out there a lot. They did get Jaquez Petaway the ball today on that one play.
8 yards.
8 yards. But I think, to the question about what is it? Is it the blocking scheme, O-line, or running backs? I think, it might just be a mixture of all three. And it might just be, when the running backs are looking good, the O-line maybe isn't, or the scheme's not great. But the one takeaway, I mean, Marcus Majors sometimes has got to be better about finding the hole. He runs into offensive linemen a lot. But I think both of those backs really started to get it going in the fourth quarter, and especially Sawchuk. I mean, the fourth quarter performance by him is what I had expected Gavin Sawchuk to be like all season. So it is good to finally be able to get him going. And Nick Anderson, that the biggest takeaway today, Nick Anderson is elite.
Yeah, and Micah says, and John, I think you're right. Sometimes when you're in these games against former teams, you do try a little bit too hard. Gabriel missed a couple that he probably should have had. He'd tell you that. Didn't run him as much as I thought we might. But yeah, that was a stupid taunting by Kanik. Now, Ethan Downs should have had a taunting last week against Texas. I did notice BV took him out immediately too. He immediately came out after that. And that was sickening because you had the goal line stand. You're up 7-0. You're holding the field goal for sure. I mean, not a field goal. You're up 7-0 with the ball. I mean, that changed things. It was a game changer. Definitely became a dogfight after that.
They got to call that one on UCF if they're going to call it on.
You have to. The ref watched it. Anderson is a stud. Okay, Anderson is his body type. He's got the frame. His speed's not elite, but he doesn't have to be because he's so physical. For me, I think that's great.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of good learning moments from the game today, and it's going to be a rough week of practice for them. It'll be a tough week of practice, but Peyton Bowen needs to be on the field more. He is to put it simple, he's a playmaker.
Oh, he for sure is. And if you're going to try to ground pound, you do probably have to play Savion Byrd more. And Daniel, I like what Daniel's observation is here. For him, it's something changes every week. Sometimes it's the pull guard or tackle, or the running back's inability to get yards after contact. And really the guy that's been most consistent in that is Tolly Walker, who was out today for personal matters. Do you have any other news on that, Brody? That's all I've seen is personal matters.
I feel like that's the best way to keep it. Would be personal matters.
Oh yeah, there'll be some extra conditioning probably this week with Schmitty. I will say this, guys, and while we're on the topic of Schmitty, the fourth quarter this year compared to the fourth quarter last year is different. OU's in a much better place conditioning wise. They're able to even pound a little bit in the fourth quarter today. They probably don't win this game last year. They definitely don't win this under Lincoln Riley because they weren't conditioned at all under Benny Wiley.
Yeah, they definitely don't win this game last year. They lose this game last year by about 21 points. But
that Timothy comment, Brody, I'd like to see now when Brennan Thompson gets healthy, Thompson or Petaway or someone else coming around the edge on those reverses maybe. I mean, Freeman had a couple good plays today. Freeman was more in it and active today than he usually is. I will say that. Anthony is going to be missed. Look, Anthony was great. He stretched the field out. Anderson was able to get that one deep shot off the play action today, so that was good.
I think,
that comment here by Chris. That was one thing we haven't talked about yet. The pass protection wasn't great. Gabriel did have to scramble some, had a couple of sacks, but you are correct, Eric. In the end, I don't care about the score either because the only number that matters is 0 in the loss column. 0 in the loss column is all that matters. If OU takes care of business, they'll be where they want to be, period.
And there's a lot of, they got to get a lot better, and that's going to happen. And when you look at it, I mean, there's going to be a lot of teaching moments on tape for the staff on this game. And I expect that this team certainly is not going to come back out and start next week's game like that. They won. They found a way to win. That's what good teams do. And Oklahoma did it today, but, you just can't do that again.
I agree. And actually, I like Bothroyd. Bothroyd didn't play his best game today. Bothroyd is more of a pass protector. A pass rusher than he is probably a run stopper. I thought Thomas was in position twice, number 32 that Josie's talking about. R. Mason Thomas was in position twice, wasn't able to make the play. And PJ Alabawore only played a few downs, and one of them he was chasing from behind. So,
Look,
Ethan Downs' injury, that hurt OU today.
I don't think it's it shouldn't be long term with Downs.
No, I think it's a groin.
Yeah, but I thought Jonah Laulu had a really nice play on the screen pass when he blew it up. And then Kendall Dolby, he's playing some good football. He had that nice play on the 2-point conversion, and then Isaiah Coe was in there with pressure many times today. But UCF, credit to them, man. They came out and played.
Yeah, their O-line, Joe says their O-line looks really good. Their O-line, they're third in the nation in rush offense, Joe. They are pretty special on offense. And that was the thing. I thought maybe they'd score some points, OU. The way it happened was a little frustrating on some long possessions. The celebration, yeah, you gotta control that. I know BV is not going to be liking that. Salchuk was trying to see if he should just go down at the 1.
He was
yeah,
looking
he was.
at the coaches.
He was looking at the coaching staff. I was screaming to get in the end zone because you never know what happens if you don't score there. At least you score and you're up 8, and it almost bit OU, and they were able to tie the game, but OU stopped the 2-point. Great play by Kendall Dolby. But, yeah, he was definitely seeing from the staff if he should go in or try to run some clock. What'd you think of that, Brody? I like going and score.
Yeah, I think you just take the points there.
Eric, you're right. I think OU might drop. It doesn't even matter. Nothing matters except zero losses in the zero in the loss column is all that matters, and OU will be in the playoff.
The AP rankings are going to be irrelevant in like a week or two when the playoff rankings actually come out.
Correct.
Yeah, so
Penn State goes down today in a tight game. That was a pretty good defensive battle, 20-12 to Ohio State. So Penn State's going to fall. There's going to be some things ahead of Oklahoma that just take care of themselves, pretty much. That's what's going to happen. And OU, people may say they're the worst undefeated team at the end of the year, but if they're undefeated, it doesn't really matter because they're going to have a chance. As they say in Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's a chance. That's exactly right. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate the the donation. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate it. We've talked about this. Actually, I talked about Nick Anderson over Stogner just because he's more physical than Gibson, and you play Gibson out wide. But I think maybe if I go watch some film, maybe Stogner's doing some things in the running game, but Gibson had a heck of a block on the Drake Stoops touchdown, guys. He had a great block. So
you don't need to start a tight end. You just go 4 wide.
Or if you want to do it, make sure your receiver that's playing that position is a great blocker. But I will give credit to Stogner on one thing. He saved the bacon on the onside kick because
it looked to me like he got banged up at some point because they brought in Blake Smith, and I think Stogner got hurt, but he did save the day on that play. I think it was Jalil Farouk who missed it, and then
it was
Stogner saved it. But
yes, I agree. I want to, Taylor, thanks for this comment. This is a good one. This is the first time all year where I was watching the game and saying, OU's not they're looking to the sideline a lot. Now, part of this, Gus Malzahn and the pre-snap things that they do at UCF is elite. Their schemes are elite. I know BV was trying to get the right calls in, especially if they're audibling it up on the other side. But there were a couple times where they snapped the ball and OU was not even in position. Now, I will say this, though. This was also a great example of growth by BV and staff. OU did not waste a single timeout today. I feel like a year ago, OU was wasting it. Game management was bad. BV has been much better in that area. But I agree with Taylor. There was some little bit of confusion today pre-snap. Yeah, you score because it puts you up 8. You can't lose on a last-minute play. Again, I was sitting there thinking they're gonna make a field goal. If OU doesn't score that last touchdown, I thought OU was going to lose by 2 points because of the Boomer guy. That guy
You
was
know
bombing.
who struggled today? Woody Washington.
Yeah, Woody Washington was bad today.
And that's a rare bad game from him.
Well, he really had two bad plays. He had the pass interference on 2nd and 15 from the 2. That was a horrible play. Didn't need to do it. There was no use to do it. And the other play that was bad was when he sniffed the quarterback coming out of the backfield and he bit on it and lost his guy. And that went for about 80 for a touchdown, went for 6. And that was the whole taunting play right there.
They got to find a way to get Kip Lewis on the field more.
He came in for what was interesting. He came in for Stutzman. Stutzman was
getting
I
rest.
think just gassed. I think he was just gassed, dude.
Yeah, they gotta get him in on the field more. But
this is true. Hey, there was maybe the worst play, Josh on here. Thanks for the comment. One of the worst plays Stogner made today. OU's trying to make a quick drive, but was it before half? He cuts up field instead of just stepping out of bounds. For one, you're not athletic enough probably to get by that guy, and he proved he wasn't. And two, the clock ran. Like he's played a lot of football. He should have known that. Stutzman has been playing through an injury. Yeah, he's had that stinger.
That's the Gavin Sawchuk we need to see the rest of the way. I mean, he could step up and really be there, running back one on this team if he can continue to build off that performance today.
Yeah, and Eric, you're right that in a zone coverage scheme, Woody Washington would have been justified in doing what he did. It was in man. He can't do that. You cannot do that until the guy crosses the line of scrimmage. Bad mistake, and it went for 6. Those are the plays OU fans are accustomed to having under Grinch, but at least those are few and far between nowadays. So, yeah. Overall, though, you get a win. You go to 7-0. You got Kansas on the road. I guess if there's any silver lining, it's the fact that you had this game at home and you were able to pull it out because you can't play like this again. You cannot play like this. Yeah, Josh, Ethan Downs got hurt. If you remember the play, Brody, he got hurt and he kept pulling down on his groin area. You can tell he kind of a nagging injury. He came off, and I never saw him come back in the field. I saw him on the sidelines. I saw him celebrating a little at the end, but I never saw him back on the field.
I heard he was on the bike.
Okay, yeah, that's a groin. That's 100% a groin, it sounds like.
Where was Tawi Walker? Tawi Walker missed today. We'll just say personal matter. That's everything that's been put out on that. Kip Lewis, he's got to play more. He has to. And he's not, I know he's not like, as far as his weight, maybe he's not what you want there, but just his instincts make up for that. He's got to be on the field more. Bama's getting destroyed right now, 13-0 to Tennessee.
Wow, is that in Rocky Top?
No, this one's in Bama. This is at Bama.
Oh wow, Josh Heupel put it on. Hey, yeah, the recruiting, the secondary is going to be elite. I thought Key Lawrence today wasn't his best. What about you, Brody?
Yeah, I thought Key Lawrence, he had a lot of missed tackles. It was definitely not his best performance.
Pearson was pretty good.
Pearson was solid. He made a few good plays, but they got to play Bowen more.
You got to play him more. Have to.
You got to play him more. Stars matter, and it shows that kid is a 5-star.
Oh yeah, for sure. And what they got coming in are 4 and 5 stars all over the place on the defensive side of the ball. So, I mean, that's only going to get better. But, boy, I would have liked to have been a fly on the wall at halftime of this game.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it was pretty in the locker room. Now, you look at the second half outside that last drive where they scored and went for 2. OU had not allowed a touchdown all half. They had the 2 long field goals, but really they kind of settled down until that last drive, and it was that big third down play.
Man, OU's got to find a way to get that boomer kicker out the portal.
That's what I was saying earlier. Hey,
first of all,
get someone out of the portal. Schmidt
also,
and it.
The last name. I mean, that'd be perfect.
And Schmidt had been okay some, but we all knew what he was when I mean, he didn't even get the kick distance-wise against, was it Texas where he missed one? Yeah, didn't even get it there. Like, he doesn't seem to have that great of a leg. Accuracy's poor at best. I don't know. It's going to be interesting if they try something there, dude.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And Freeman, you got to leave.
Yeah. Hey, we do have some some news to say. I mean, we can say this now that Brent Venables had said it, but Tawi Walker was serving an in-house suspension today for one game.
That's what I figured.
And it was Brent Venables. That's what he said in the post game. Parker Thune tweeted it, and Parker Thune on his tweet said it arose after a dispute with a member of the staff at practice this past week. So that pretty much tells you all you need to know with that situation right there.
Well, and I hate to say that, but Walker's really played himself and earned his spot. I know his story's great, but you make mistakes like that, it could end up costing you a whole lot of time, playing time, and money. I mean, Sawchuk had probably his best game. J-Mosh here says the rushing scheme. Yeah, there just doesn't seem to be a lot of north and south. Just line up and beat the snot out of them. Savion Byrd did a little bit of that. Yeah, we can't get the guy out of the portal now, but maybe in the offseason you could lure him away. I don't know if he's done with eligibility, but that's right, John. Like the chat. That is correct. Like. This is a win. I don't remember if it was you that mentioned it earlier or Joe C, but every championship team has these games, and I'm ecstatic that OU is able to pull this out. I don't care what the score was. I don't care how ugly it was. An ugly win is always better than a really good loss. So
you got into it with the staff member.
It doesn't say who he got into it with, but that'll be interesting what comes of that. Let me say one thing about the rushing, though. Another good thing is OU has not fumbled the ball this year from the running game, have they? The ball security by the running backs has been elite. I'm pretty sure they've not lost a fumble.
I know this play was frustrating. You remember?
Richard, you're a member of our channel, so thanks. But yeah, this is so right, Richard. This was an awful, awful play.
Awful.
Turn up field, you get the first down. It cost them. They had a punt.
Yeah,
I was actually saying go for that there, but
I don't know. I thought the OU was going to do the tush push once. You know, when they lined up with everyone behind DG, I was like, oh, are they going to do it? And then they didn't.
I thought they were going to bring Arnold in once.
They also brought him in until they called a timeout.
Yeah, but hey, you're right. Freeman, get upfield. You can't dance in that situation. You got to get upfield. I liked what Stoops did on the touchdown. The go-ahead score was he, if you remember that play, I thought he was going to maybe pop it outside. He just freaking head of steam into the end zone and scored that. Great play, great block by Gibson. Great play call by Levy on that one as well. Yeah, only DG fumbled that one game.
That interception today was, I don't know. DG probably shouldn't have thrown that ball, or he maybe should have thrown it a little bit earlier, but that's not really an interception that you're like, oh, like that's all on DG. I do think it's a little bit of this. What time does Texas play? Because I'm interested to see how they come out against Houston too. But
that may be a 6 o'clock kick, is it? I'm not sure.
Exactly. Yeah, the team didn't really look. I think Teddy Lehman said it on the broadcast. They didn't look all there.
Joe C says they're playing right now. So is that one not on television?
14-0 right now, they're saying.
I'm assuming it's 14-0 Texas.
Yeah, I guess
I guess they're not having the hangover. I still think it's going to be Iowa State or Texas in the Big 12 title game, the winner of that game.
Texas just punted, but they're up 14-0. It'll be interesting to see if Iowa State can continue to win and get there. West Virginia tied it up with Oklahoma State. but yeah, I don't know. The biggest that you just can't come out like that, and you're not going to be able to do that against Kansas.
Yeah, you can't come out like that. But to sum it all up, you can't come out like that. We were a little flat offensively. Defense came out swinging. It was great to see. But in the end, what matters is you get the W. You fought adversity. The pressure was 100% on OU, and they were able to come out on top. So that's huge. Really appreciate it, Joe C. Post-game commentary. Yeah, we're about to end our YouTube live here. We are going to drop 4 or 5 videos probably tonight about the game. So make sure you're subscribed to our channel. We're going to continue to drop the content. We'll have some more softball stuff this week as well. But thank you, Joe and Eric and all you guys that have donated today. We really appreciate you guys. You viewers are rocking it. Great insight into the game by you guys. Daniel, former player, being on here. Appreciate you. And all you guys that are loyal Sooner Surge members and subscribers. We really appreciate it. Can't thank you enough. And yes, it was UCF Super Bowl, J-Sock. That is correct. And make sure you're part of what's going on here. We appreciate all you guys. The biggest thing, Sooners get the win. Improved to 7-0, 31-29. Great play by Kendall Dolby. A great win fighting adversity. And OU will use this, put this in their cap for the future. So, again, thanks so much, guys. Thanks again, Eric, and all you guys for donating. Till next time, guys. Boomer.
Boomer.